In most diesels, the exhaust gas contains a considerable amount of deposit-forming soot. The BG Diesel Induction Service eliminates the time and effort required to remove engine components and have them cleaned. Unlike any other service, the BG Diesel Induction Service chemically cleans the exhaust gas runners and the fresh air intake without engine teardown and completely restores the vehicle to peak performance. The BG Diesel Induction Service, used with the 9255-550 service set. You will need the following products to complete this service: BG 244, BG Throttle Body and Intake Cleaner, BG Diesel ISC, BG 109 Compression Performance Restoration, and BG Brake Lube. Be sure to thoroughly read the instructions for your particular model before beginning this process. Preparation. Add 1 quart of BG 244 to the fuel tank before the service. Then check the computer for diagnostic codes. Record the codes and then clear them. Cleaning the EGR valve and passages. Locate and unplug the electrical connection to the EGR valve. Unbolt and remove the EGR valve from the engine. The valve may be stuck in place by carbon buildup around the O-rings. Be careful not to damage the O-rings during removal. Clean the EGR valve and pre-clean the EGR O-ring surfaces with BG Throttle Body and Intake Cleaner. Do not spray BG Throttle Body and Intake Cleaner into the EGR port. There is a risk of ignition, which can blow the aluminum plug out of the adapter, causing vehicle damage or personal injury. Spray BG Throttle Body and Intake Cleaner on a towel and wipe O-ring surfaces clean. Apply a small amount of grease on the O-rings to protect them. Install the EGR adapter using the bolts from the EGR valve. Be careful not to damage the O-rings on the adapter during installation. Install the BG injector atomizer into the top of the BG EGR adapter. Connect the tool to the BG timer box. Close all the valves on the supply tool, then fill it with 1 quart of BG Diesel ISC. Close fill cap securely. Connect the supply tool to shop air and set the regulator pressure to 90 psi. Make sure the switch on the timer box is set to off. Then connect to a 12-volt DC power supply. Many diesels run 24-volt systems. Be sure you have a 12-volt source. Locate the connection in the air tube that runs from the turbo to the plenum. Separate the tube and install the BG Universal Diesel Intake Adapter over the metal tube on the engine side to create a vacuum. Center the adapter using the thumb screws. Install the aluminum plug into the end of the adapter and secure with the thumb screw. Start the engine and bring to full operating temperature. The engine should run on the air going through the BG EGR adapter. If the vehicle refuses to start, remove the aluminum plug from the BG Universal Diesel Intake Adapter, then try reinstalling the plug after some runtime has elapsed. Warning: if the vehicle bellows black smoke, remove the air plug from the aluminum plug to allow for more air intake. If the vehicle continues to bellow black smoke, do not proceed with the service. A vacuum is necessary to carry the product through the EGR passages, but too much air restriction can cause catastrophic engine failure. With the engine running, use throttle depressor to set RPM between 900 and 1000. The service runtime is controlled through the timer box. Increasing the vehicle RPM will not speed up the service time. Warning: increasing the RPM could result in rich conditions which cause extreme oil dilution and may hydrolock the engine. Open the ball valve on the supply tool. Turn the timer box to the higher number to start, which will give the longest time between firings. If the vehicle runs well and does not clatter or knock, switch to the lower number for a faster cleaning setting. But if the engine begins to clatter or knock, immediately turn off the timer box and wait for the engine to run normally. Restart service by setting the selector back to the higher number. When the EGR cleaning is complete, shut the engine off. Then turn off the timer box and shut the ball valve on the supply tool. Cleaning the air intake. Move the BG injector atomizer from the EGR adapter to the intake adapter. Move the aluminum plug from the intake adapter to the EGR adapter. The EGR port is now sealed off. Before proceeding with the intake cleaning service, install 1 quart of BG 109 in the crankcase. This step will clean the oil system and help restore engine compression. Refill the BG 1 quart VS supply tool with 1 quart of BG diesel ISC. Seal and pressurize the tool to 90 psi. Start the engine and set RPM between 900 and 1000. Open the ball valve on the supply tool. Turn the timer box to the higher number to start. The service will run the same as the cleaning of the EGR passages. If the vehicle runs well and does not clatter or knock, switch to the lower number for a faster cleaning setting. But if the engine begins to clatter or knock, immediately turn off the timer box and wait for the engine to run normally. Restart service by setting the selector back to the higher number. When the product has been consumed, shut the engine off and remove all apparatus. Reconnect the air tube to the intake. Install cleaned or new EGR valve. Completing the service. The engine oil and filter will be contaminated with cleaning solution from the services and must be changed immediately following the service. Failure to do so could result in engine damage. After the oil service, restart the engine and raise the RPM between 1500 and 2000 for 15 minutes to dry out the pockets of cleaner that may have accumulated. Finally, clear any codes that may have been set. BG's diesel induction system service is a quick, effective, and profitable service that, when performed properly, is safe for all engine components. It is one of the many services that combines premium BG products with the right technology and equipment to maximize vehicle efficiency. For more information on this or other BG services, contact your local BG distributor or visit us on the web at bgprod.com. BG Products Incorporated, your partner in service success.